And welcome back. In the last video I stated how I was going to build up my settlement just a little bit before we hit Concordia, so I figured I would show it off a little bit before we get started. Right off the bat I put in a ton of beds into the houses. It's best to set up at least 20 to 25 beds because depending on how high your charisma is will determine how many people you get in your settlement. As we can see, Trash Can Carla is leaving. I built up some sentry turrets. I'll be building a better grid eventually, but for now that's fine. And the biggest addition is this over here. This would be my garden. This is where I mainly get all my food sources. Now the biggest thing that you have to put into each settlement, and I can't stress this enough, it's the most useful item in the whole settlement system so far, is this decontamination arch. This thing is a godsend. It should be in every single settlement. It's a must build because Radaway will screw you more than anything in survival mode. You just go through the arch, no fuss, no muss, you don't get hurt. The next thing I recommend is putting in a simple water pump. Even if you put in a full-blown grid, these are great because they can properly rehydrate you and you don't take any rad damage, so you don't even need to take any dirty water or anything. The next thing I put in a bunch of water purifiers. Now these serve two purposes. The first being you will have a steady supply of water in your own home base for your settlers and for yourself really. But if it refilled, I don't think it has yet. But when you go back to any one of your settlements, if you have a lot of these things, there's an off chance that your workbench will supply you with extra water. And it's good to have extra water. See, I have 611 bottles of purified water in here. It's good to have some on hand at all times because you never know when you're going to need some extra water. Plus, if you do what I do, you can use them as extra currency. I put in a rad stag cage. This is optional really, you don't have to do it. I put one in just to hunt down for some extra meat because then I could just cook the meat and get some bonus experience. But up on this first floor, this is basically what you want to build for each farm. You want to at least, you could build it a 6x6 platform like I did. You can make it smaller, but I've centered all my crops. I have some corn here, some mute fruit, whatever they call it, some tato, and some carrots. Carrots are optional. I use those to refill the ragstag pen, but these three are essential. Because not only are they good for a food source, but you can turn all three plus purified water into vegetable starch, which is a good adhesive. So when you're out in the waste, you don't have to bother looking for any more adhesive. You could just make it yourself at home. And I put 3 garden plots. You could really make do with just one.
Seems to be growing
But
well.
I like to make a lot of vegetable starch. It's also a good way to level up fast. So this is basically what I have built now, and mind you, I have not gone anywhere really. I've only gone to maybe 1 or 2 locations, but I only went there to get the skill books I need later on. Most of this I got from Trash Can Carla, which is why it's very important to have her traveling to your settlement as fast as possible. Because once you get her here, she can sell you all the basics that you need to set up something like this. And I will eventually be building it up. The one thing I recommend to everybody is fill this out. I've started it up, but you want to fill every square inch of this stream with water purifiers on this side of the bridge and on the other side of the bridge, as far as you can go, as many as you can fit in, because water is so important in this update, that you're going to need it. You're going to need water for everything. And it's a very good currency source. You can really use it for just about everything. Since the last time I also upgraded my weapons. I now have a couple baseball grenades, my new marksman powerful sniper rifle. I like this rifle. I need to get a suppressor for it and a 50 caliber conversion, but this will do for now. A recon advanced 10mm, which I recommend putting recon scopes on every weapon that you get that can take them, because since your enemies don't pop up on your radar, you can now use these instead. I also got a staggering hardened pipe revolver. This is an okay gun. I haven't really used it too much in combat, but it does have a pretty good kick. This one I gotta destroy, and then I have a tactical powerful double barrel shotgun. This is actually the best build out for a shotgun. I don't bother using the chokes because they reduce your range, but I love the dot scope. The dot scope on almost everything is pretty good. I will be getting a combat shotgun eventually, but this is a good start for my collection. As for my food source, because of I've been going back and forth so much, I built up such an abundance of carrots. I just use carrots. They're very light, they're simple. I'll never have to worry about food ever again. A rad storm is coming in. Now before I go on to Concordia though, I'm going to show you an interesting little trick I found. And this works every single time. If you do this, you can rank up money, you can rank up food items, you can rank up caps and bullets. This is really, really handy, and I don't really want to go through this radiation storm, so I'm going to do this. What you do is you go up this little fork right here, come over here. Once you cross right around this tree, I noticed that the game will pause for a split second or so, and if it does, don't worry, it'll come out of it. Then again, it just might be the Xbox version. Most people might not know this, but there's a box of supplies here. It only happens once though, and some purified water. I don't know why this doesn't respawn, but over here it's a little hidden, but there's a trunk in the floor. This trunk will reload every single day. Every single time you go to sleep, it most likely will reload every time. And the same goes for this cave. Well, not the whole cave, but outside this cave right here. You know, you got your glowing fungus, and you got your brain fungus, and these are great if you want to make mentats and radaway or irradiated blood. But you go here, these supplies will respawn. These are good supplies to have because you always run out of steel and you'll always run out of oil, and these will give you a little bit of both. Because we'll be going to Concordia and we need a fusion core, I might as well go into this cave now though. But yeah, that's just a simple tip. I found this out earlier and I really, really like it because it does help you get some pretty good stuff. I got my whole armor set out of it. I got an entire steel armor set out of it, so it can be really, really useful down the line. Nice little attack sneak bonus, that'll come in handy. I think there's one more in here. And this cave is actually a good place to... You know what? Empty bottles. I can't pass up empty bottles. They're just so useful in this update. There's probably one or two more mole rats in here, so I'm gonna keep hidden. Anyways, in here there is a fusion core for those who are looking for fusion cores. It's a proper good idea to raid this whole thing because the brain fungus you can really use. Yeah, there's another one in here because my hidden meter's acting up. Oh shit. There we go. And then there's also one of these in here. Let's see if we can't crack this safe. We should be able to. Actually, an interesting tip about safes. I noticed this in Skyrim, and I noticed this in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. There are scratches on the safe and on the locks. If you look around on the scratches on the locks, if you line up your bobby pins to those scratches, 9 times out of 10 those are going to lead you to the sweet spots. I don't know whether they put that in on purpose or if it's just a coincidence, but I always find if you line up with some of the scratches, those are the sweet spots in safes. I did go to the gas station and completely scrap it. I completely scraped everything except for the stations because I can't build stations. And it's always best to keep your build stations up and running, but I scrapped the entire interior and I took all the scrap back to my sanctuary base. But yeah, so I'm gonna sleep for a good 24 hours just to see if I can get some, because I need a few more supplies. I need to scrap these weapons. As far as it goes with the side effects of dehydration and malnourishment and sleep, I tested them out just to see what the difference is on whether you should or shouldn't do certain things. And it's very interesting how it works. If you're dehydrated, this is actually very good if you want to build an idiot savant build with high intelligence. This is kind of interesting. If you get dehydrated and you stay dehydrated long enough, your intelligence will dip down by 8. So if you set your intelligence at, let's say 9, you get a high intelligence boost, so you can at least get all of the key intelligence skills, and then you can dehydrate yourself and get the boost from Idiot Savant. So it's really interesting how you can turn that into that. As for food, you have to eat. Like you have to eat, because if you don't eat, your endurance and your agility dip badly. And the worst one though is sleep. Sleep will do a heck of a lot of damage to you. It actually infects your action points more than anything, but you can get severely injured if you're not careful with that, because it will also start doing physical damage to your character after a while. Now, as for these bonus weapons, you can sell them to Carla or whoever. You can hold on to them and sell them later on. Personally, I just destroy them. I scrap them for parts, because you want the extra parts. Yeah, it didn't replenish. Oh well. And then I also put up a relay beacon just to get everybody to the settlement. Mind you, like I said, I didn't get anybody back from Concordia, so we're gonna go do that right now. But just to prove that this trick does work, I'm gonna go back to that trunk that I took the... Wait, no. That's the other part of it. That's the other part of it. You have to actually sleep 2 days, and it refills. I don't know if it's refilled right now, but this is the way I do it, so I'm not gonna change the way I do it. But yeah, it's good to have a ton of people. You want to put them all up in the gardens. Now, the other thing is, I put my gardens up high. And that's because if you have raider attacks or any kind of attack, you can at least make sure your gardens are safe and secure. And that's why I put them up high. Because raiders will rarely go up a flight of stairs, and usually you'll have 1 or 2 people ready to help you out. But this is all I really did for a couple hours, really. I just went back and forth between this and the gas station and collected armors and all that stuff. And you could sell your crops too, which that's another thing about this trick that works. If you do this over and over again, your crops will respawn every time you come back. So if you're ever low on food, or you're out of food, all you have to do is just do this trick at any settlement and any other location with a bed, and you'll just replenish everything really, really quick. It doesn't work so great with water because I haven't found... I think your water replenishes by distance and time, so I don't know if that's how that works exactly, but this is how I do it normally. But yeah, I strip all my settlements because you want the space, you want the build space, and it also diminishes how much of certain things you can build if you have everything still there. I mean, it makes your bases look bare, but you could build those up any way you want after that. But yeah, generally you want your water purifiers maxed out in some areas. Not every location, but any location with a large body of water. But yeah, we'll just go up here and check it out. And it's empty. The one time it doesn't work. That's kind of funny. But this trick does work 90% of the time. Yeah, this is the first time it actually hasn't worked. You know, that one time you try and get it on camera. Yeah, it didn't work over here either. It's always funny how that works, but... Alright, let's go to Concordia. Before we get there, though, I figure I'll show off my build. My character's currently at level 16. And I mainly built my character around a jack of all trades. I put perks in multiple skills. And the way I recommend doing it, your first perk, I recommend Lone Wanderer. Either Lone Wanderer or Science, because this is just a useful perk. I put 2 points in Gun Nut so far. Gunslinger, which I also have one in Rifleman. Gunslinger, Rifleman, and Commando are extremely useful because they just boost you up really, really good. I'll eventually build up my luck to get Scrounger, and I got Fortune Finder up to 1. Both of these are extremely useful. Bloody Mess is also very good. I recommend it pretty early on. Now, Demolitions Expert, this could be the one that saves your life the most because explosives in this game are way more powerful. I got killed by Molotov cocktails, I can't tell you how many times. Strong Back, very useful. The armor perk, the melee perk, right now I'm fairly low, but once I do a couple tweaks to my character, he's going to be pretty powerful. Good, some Jet. Jet is very useful. You want Jet. Okay, we're going to be going in almost at dusk. I'll pull up my Marksman 308. I wish I could have leveled up enough to put this thing at a 50 cal with a sniper rifle level before I did this, but this gun still packs a pretty good punch. So I hope this is all I'll really need. Now we got the Raiders attacking Preston. Let's see if we can't back him up a little bit. Okay, there's one down. They don't see me yet. At least I don't think so. Okay, that one gave me away. Shit, I have no... that took care of him. Since he has a tire iron, I doubt he has anything else useful. Though I might be wrong. No, he's got nothing. And I learned, don't use stim packs. Because you can actually, stim packs will diminish some of your skills. Really, use the natural food alternatives as much as possible. Because they added in extra health bonuses for being well fed. So it can be really useful. And really, you want to keep your distance. A lot of people like to be up close and personal with their fights. Me, I'm a long-range sniper in the game normally, but being stealthy and being farther away from your enemies is actually pretty smart in this one. Oh. Now there should be at least 1 or 2 more left. I'm gonna hit them from this side. Yeah, there's at least 1 or 2 left. Ah, I guess they're dead. Good job, Preston. Shotgun shells, Molotovs. You want to hold on to Molotovs. These are very, very useful and very deadly. You don't want to raid the armor too much unless you don't have any extra armor. Yeah, that's all of them. Now he tells me to pick up this laser musket. Normally I don't use these things, but for now I will. Okay, fragmentation grenades. And I don't normally use drugs, but for this place I'm going to use jet. And I'll show you why in a second. Now this room is a little tricky because you can die very easily from extra gunfire. It's best to go in sneaking. Now I know where the other people are positioned. I know where most of them are positioned right when you go in the door. The first thing you want to do is take a little bit of jet. You take jet so you can slow down time. You get your grenade ready and you lob. And then you run like hell for the door frame. If you did it right, you got some XP. And you took out the people upstairs. At least one of them. So we'll move on. You want to use grenades. Grenades are just going to save your life as well. Shit. Like so. Most likely that will kill that guy. Well, I was wrong. But at least got him to move back further so you could come up behind him and cap him. Use stim packs. Ooh, damn, he would have gotten me. Use stim packs sparingly, because if you're dehydrated, you lose some bonuses. Yeah, most of them are. I'm pretty sure I got most of them in that blast. So I'll switch over to the baseball grenades I crafted. Crafting grenades is very useful because you don't have to spend money to do it. Rad-X. I don't recommend any of the rad stuff, period. Okay, so there should be a raider in the next area. Yeah, they're cautious. So I'll just chuck that in. That didn't go exactly where it should have, but I think it did the job anyways.
Scared, huh?
Now, they don't know I'm here. I'd like to keep it that way, but there we go. Yeah, I got some 38 rounds and some stim packs. It's always good to collect ammo when you get the chance, and most medical stuff, because even if you don't use them, you could sell them for caps. Now the floor above, since I possibly killed one of them, it should be only one raider. Usually I can see him right through the... Yeah, there we go. Whoa. I put a hair trigger on this shotgun and it's not... It's very, very sensitive. That should be the end of the room. Yeah. Now, let me see. There should be some, at least one or two good supplies in here. Oh. And on here, there's the Robco Fun, which will give you one of the little Space Invader game. You don't really have to get it, but it's good to have just for... You can really just sell these things for caps, because they do respawn.
Please. Sorry. Sounds really rough.
Thanks.
One good idea.
And of course, Preston's going to send you to go get a power core for your suit, but because we raided that cave earlier, we're not going to need it.
I like it.
But if you want the bonus XP, you could go downstairs and get it. I might just do that.
I'll help if I can.
I'm skipping the conversation because I've done this so many times.
I already grabbed. Hey.
Alright, we'll head downstairs. I'll show you where that is, just so you know. And that's down here. Now, there's a couple tricks with these terminals that some people don't know, and there's one of them. If you hit these little brackets, they'll remove duds sometimes. And if you can remove duds, you can get retries. Yeah, see, that one removed another dud. And I'm not really trying to find the correct thing. I'm not trying to figure out what it is. I'm just trying to remove the duds. And once you figure out the patterns of how these brackets work, you can really sort of hack these things fast. It's just knowing where these brackets are. You want to check around here where these parentheses and everything like that. You should check within those. And I'm looking for one specific part. Because there's dud removers and there's retries. I don't think they're going to give me a retry. Now there's enough words here to at least take a guess. There's booze, holes, rolls, and slips. So really I might just take a guess that it's, I think, holes. No, that's it. And then the terminal will reset after 10 seconds, so I'll just take those 10 seconds to show a few little things around here. If you are going to look for adhesive, there's some duct tape here. If you're going to look for a few extra supplies, this tool case sometimes has some good stuff. I'm not going to bother taking the guns. And this ammo crate always has something. So that should have been enough time. Alright, let's see if we can't get this.
Nice.
Oh, got it in one. You just unlock the security gate. And there's your power core. Now we gotta run upstairs and get the power armor itself. And one thing you should know about the power cores, they take up quite a bit of space in your inventory. They weigh 4 pounds a piece. And 4 pounds isn't too much, but if you have like 50 of these things, then you're not going anywhere. They weigh quite a bit.
We need help.
Also, there's a perception bobblehead. I'm not going to grab that yet. I save my bobbleheads until my stats are at 10, because then you get the 11th point to the perk. Boy, this load time's taking a little bit of time. Probably loading in all the characters and everything. It's these staged events that usually take a little extra time to load. There's a nice little holotape here. Like I said, a few useful items here, but nothing really big. And now we got the power armor. To tell the truth, this is the first time I'll be using power armor in survival mode, so I'm kind of curious how much damage resistance this is going to give me. If it gives me full damage resistance like it does normally, then I'll count it as a good thing to have.
We got somebody up here.
So let's see. I don't use the Gatling gun early on because it's much more useful later.
You get down here. Let you and my boys have a little talk.
Let's take a little bit of jet to slow time down. Jet's very useful if you're just a sniper. That's most of them taken care of at the start. There's a few more up the street, so now I'll use the Gatling gun, which I don't recommend. I don't recommend the minigun for any build in this playthrough, just because the minigun is so inaccurate where it counts. Like that guy's pretty much, he should have been dead. Even up close, this thing is pretty bad. Now, if you're going up against heavy creatures like a Deathclaw, you know, it's pretty good against the Deathclaw, but wow, that dude just died. So we come down to it, we got the Deathclaw. Don't bother shooting him when he's coming up out of the ground because he's stuck in an animation and you can't hurt him. Now you can hurt him. and he can hurt you. I always shoot these things. Shit. I thought that would have got him. Normally it does. Yeah, you'll spin through 500 rounds pretty quickly. Oh, this might have gotten me. I'm gonna take a stim pack just in case. You want to keep your distance from these guys. And their weakness, which is weird, is on their belly. But I'm just gonna aim for the feet, because feet are the real weakness. Yeah, he's probably gonna kill me. I gotta get away from him. Alright, let's take a little bit of food. Remember that food bonus I told you about? This is when it's gonna come in handy. Because I'm not gonna take him. Damn! He got me. Well, I guess now is the best time to end this for now. When we come back, I'll probably be at the top of the roof with the power armor again. We'll just get back to it then. So, for now, this is